Hey everyone, welcome in. If you hear Michelle talking in the background, she's over here making cookies. We've got a Christmas get together, another side of the family tomorrow. So I don't know how many of you out there are doing that as well, spending the whole weekend doing Christmas things and getting together with family. So hopefully this should be live on Facebook now. It is. I'm going to go in there and share it real quick and tag a few people. So if you're coming in, let us know if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. I'm going to figure out how to get this connected to my, hey, Sandy, how are you? I'm going to figure out how to get this connected to my Instagram as well soon. That is the plan. But if you come in, if you could tag some people in the comments, share this to your page. We're going to get started here in just 30 seconds. Just give me 30 seconds. I just want to tag some people here and try to get this out to some folks that have been messaging me about what it is I've been doing to turn my health around. So if you or someone you know is struggling with metabolic health, insulin resistance, share this live with them, tag them in the comments, and hopefully we can help them and get them pointed in the right direction. So let's see here. There was one more person I was wanting to. All right. It says we got 4 people watching, which is cool. I can't really tell who it is, but thank you. If you could put it in the comments, like where you're watching from or whatever, I would greatly appreciate that. And like I said, tag as many people as you want. So I'm going to pop this up here. I'm going to show a presentation and we will get started. So, all right. Hopefully everybody can see that. So that was me a little over 3 years ago. I was type 2 diabetic, had horrible neuropathy, pain, high blood pressure. Michelle's playing background music. She knows I'm doing a live, and she's. I'm trying to pop on your She's cracking me up out here. She's trying to make cookies. She's trying to hop on the live. She dropped her earbuds. She's playing music. All right. So anyway, this was me, right? A little over, or right at 3 years ago, I started the protocol that I always share and talk about the day after Christmas in 2022. I was full-blown type 2 diabetic on all the medications. I had high blood pressure, neuropathy, pain in my feet, stage 1 kidney failure, low testosterone, was 312 pounds. In fact, I always point the wrong way, but the far picture there of just my face, I mean, you could tell in that photo I was miserable. I was getting sicker and sicker all the time, taking the medications the way I was told, and nothing was really working. Yeah, Chet, she's definitely keeping me on my toes. What's up, Kent? How are you? Thanks for joining us. So here's the problem. 93% of American adults are metabolically unhealthy. We're insulin resistant. Most of us don't even know it. And it starts with things like skin tags or the inability to lose weight. Maybe you have dark skin pigmentation around the neck, armpits, groin. If you have cravings for sugary or salty food, if you have migraines or headaches or joint pain, constant fatigue, low energy, if you have that upper abdominal belly fat that's kind of hard and dense, it's not so much the fat that you can pinch and jiggle, it's that hard, dense fat. It's that visceral fat that's packed around our organs. Those are signs of insulin resistance. And so if you look at these 2 photos, you would say, well, the photo on the far right, the person that looks skinnier is actually healthier because they don't have the fat per se around the hips, the arms, the love handles so much, but they do still have that visceral fat packed around their organs. That is the fat that is choking the life out of us. That is the fat that's getting in your liver and all those, vital organs, slowing the circulation, the blood flow, the oxygen, all those things. So the visceral fat is the fat that will kill you. It's not the fat that looks bad in the mirror. It's the fat that's packed around your organs. So I call this the wheel of torture, right? Hopefully, you all can see that. Maybe let me make this a little bigger and see if it helps. I just didn't know if my slot is my gray thing like over top of it on the presentation. Let me look on my Facebook here real quick. I just want to see how it. No, okay, that's good. All right, so I call this the wheel of torture. These are the more serious symptoms that happen if you let those signs of insulin resistance, the skin tags, the belly fat, the migraines, the joint pain, all those things that we were just talking about, go unmanaged or go unresolved, they're going to lead to these more serious symptoms: erectile dysfunction in men, PCOS in women, infertility issues, non-alcoholic fatty liver, GERD, fibromyalgia, neuropathy pain, Hashimoto's, arthritis, dementia, and Alzheimer's, heart disease, obviously obesity, type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. These are all the more serious symptoms of insulin resistance. And you can be insulin resistant for 10 to 15 years before it ever shows up on your blood work. So you could be going every year to your doctor and getting labs, and they say, oh, your glucose looks normal, your cholesterol looks pretty good, your A1C looks normal. That doesn't mean you're not insulin resistant. So I recommend everyone ask your doctor to do a fasting insulin test. Okay? And if you don't get a fasting insulin test, at least figure out your own insulin resistance score. Take your triglycerides and divide it by your HDL cholesterol. If that is more than 1.5, you're heading to these more serious symptoms. I always point the wrong way because the camera's flipped. You're heading to these more serious symptoms. And that's where I was at, right? I wish my doctor would have done a fasting insulin test. I wish I'd have known about insulin. How many people in the comments, when you heard the term insulin, you just thought that was someone with diabetes, that's what they took, or that was a type 1 diabetic problem. That's what I always thought. I always thought insulin is for diabetics. Insulin is for type 1 diabetics. I never knew about insulin resistance, and I wish I would have. I wish somebody would have told me about it 20 years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have been type 2 diabetic. Maybe I wouldn't have started having the blurry vision and the neuropathy and all these other serious problems. So we need to think of insulin resistance as like the root cause core problem. If you think of it as like a tree, if you kill the roots of a tree, well, all the foliage dies, right? So look at insulin resistance is the root cause of all these diseases we're talking about. And the diseases are the foliage, right? The leaves on the tree. If you stop the problem at the root cause, insulin resistance, all these problems will start to go away. And that's what I did. Hey, Arlie, how are you? Chet says he never heard of it, right? He always just thought, same as me, insulin was a type 1 diabetic problem. So if we get to the root cause core problem, we can start to help some of these things go away. Now, 86 million Americans, and this number may even be higher now, but 86 million adults are pre-diabetic. That's 1 out of 3. 9 out of 10 don't even know that they're pre-diabetic, which is basically insulin resistance. Okay. What happens is the modern food environment, they're removing all the fiber from the food, right? Especially the highly processed food. And then we eat multiple times a day, every few hours, typically, right? We wake up in the morning, we're having, like this picture depicts a bowl of cornflakes, but that could be any cereal. That could be bagels or a muffin. That could be waffles, French toast, pancakes, a cup of coffee loaded with cream and sugar. Myself, it used to be a Pepsi first thing in the morning. Like when I would leave the house, I'd go straight to the gas station on my way to work and grab a Pepsi. 39 grams of sugar, boom, first thing in the morning. Plus have some kind of bagel, muffin, donut, etc. on top of that. Well, what happens is your blood sugar goes through the roof and your insulin has to spike to stop that blood sugar spike. The insulin takes longer to come down. The blood sugar comes down rather quickly. And when the blood sugar crashes, you feel hungry again. You feel tired, low energy. So you reach for another snack or another meal. So mid-morning, around, well, for me, mid-morning would be like 8 a.m. because I get up at 4 a.m. And I would be reaching for something else, another Pepsi or a sweet tea or a candy bar. And then, by the time your blood sugar and insulin start to come down again, it's time for lunch. And then you have the afternoon snack. And then you go home and you have dinner. And then a lot of us, myself, would sit around in the evening watching TV and be munching on Doritos or a bowl of ice cream or some popcorn or cheese and crackers, whatever it may be. And that's like 6-7 times a day that you're stuffing food in your mouth. Your insulin never has a chance to come down because it takes 3 to 4 to 5 hours, depending how insulin resistant you are, 3 to 4 to 5 hours for that insulin to come back down to insulin sensitivity area where you can start to burn fat for fuel. Insulin is the key to this whole thing. Now, we're not talking about the insulin that you inject when you're diabetic or even some type 2 diabetics. We're talking about the hormone that your body produces, okay, to keep your blood sugar low. But when it's like the key that unlocks the cells to get the glucose in to be burned for energy. But when that key insulin doesn't work anymore, it's like trying to unlock your gas tank to put gas in it to make your car run. If you don't have the right key, or if you don't know where that hidden lever is inside your vehicle to pop the little door, you're not getting gas in there, right? Same way with insulin. If the key doesn't work, glucose can't get into the cells to be burned for energy. And if that happens over and over again, the insulin doesn't do its job. The glucose stays in your bloodstream. You become pre-diabetic, eventually type 2 diabetic. And then they're giving you insulin injections to force the glucose into the cells. But over time, that doesn't work either. So they give you more insulin and they give you more insulin because your cells are already resistant to it. It's not doing its job. And before you know it, you start to have kidney failure. You end up on dialysis. You may lose your vision, all sorts of things, neuropathy. You start to have amputations because insulin isn't doing its job. Your cells are resistant to it. So you got to get your insulin levels back down here so your body can flip fuel sources. Now, I was talking about the modern food environment. If you look at these, I don't know, 10 companies here, they control 90% of the food, right? They're removing the fiber to have it be less satiating, to have a longer shelf life, to make it less, filling, to make it taste better. And that is the food that is on the inside aisles of your grocery store or on the end caps or at the checkout counter, right? All these types of highly processed foods. Most things that are bagged, boxed, or barcoded are highly processed. Every carbohydrate in nature, God packaged it in fiber. Wild rice comes packaged in fiber. But we remove the bran and we just eat the endosperm, right? White rice is one of the highest. It will spike your blood sugar higher than most things, right? Bread, we take wheat, We remove the bran, the fiber, and we make white bread out of it. Another food that is very high on the glycemic index. If you look at this thing here from the CDC, it says fiber is your friend, especially if you're type 2 diabetic, because fiber helps lessen the absorption. And I'll try to blow this up a little bit so you guys can see it. Let's see here. Let me try it this way. Is that a little better? Okay, so fiber is your friend because it helps with blood sugar control and weight management. And it also helps lower the risk of heart disease because it slows the absorption of the cholesterol and fats into your bloodstream. So it helps control your blood sugar because it slows the glucose absorption from the food you eat. It protects your heart because it prevents the body from taking in so much of the cholesterol, lowering your triglycerides, which is a higher risk factor of heart disease and heart attacks than cholesterol is, honestly. Go look it up. And then it's great for your digestive health because fiber acts like a scrub brush in your intestines. We don't have the enzymes to digest fiber. Fiber is the one carbohydrate that does not spike your blood sugar, but it works as a scrub brush, cleaning out your intestines, removing buildup of bad bacteria in your colon and your intestines. And it's great for obesity because it helps with weight management. Fiber is very satiating. So that's why I tell people always start your meal with fiber. It's going to help you from overeating. Now, the protocol that I've been following for the last couple of years that has made this such a game changer for me, these two simple all natural products right here, they were designed by this specific plant fibers was designed by Rexall Pharmacies back in the late 80s. And it's been studied by the Cleveland Clinic, the Sydney Institute. It's been studied at Brigham Young, UNLV, Stanford, and a whole host of others. This solution has 5 patents on it. It can't be copied. More than 20 clinical studies now. It's safe and natural. There are no drugs in it. It's guaranteed to work, or you can get your money back. If you try this for 90 days and you feel it's not working for you, you can get all your money back. It's cost neutral. I'll talk about that in a second. This slide says available in 50 different countries. I want you to know it's registered in over 60 different countries now around the world. People all over the world are using this and seeing amazing results. So it's listed in the physician's desk reference, meaning any doctor can look this up. They're listed in there as nutraceuticals, meaning they have to be clinically proven to work as good as or better than medication for these problems. And you can pay for these products with an HSA or FSA, a flexible spending account or health savings account. But this system costs you like $5.33 a day in the US. Now, other countries, that's a little bit different. But in the US, it comes out to like $5.33 a day. Less than a Starbucks coffee, right? Less than a large Starbucks coffee. About the same as 2 20-ounce sodas. But if you look at this, one of them, the Unimate, it's a blend of, it's a highly concentrated form of yerba mate, which is a plant. And this is what we take while we're trying to abstain from eating food, while we're doing intermittent fasting. Yes, we do some light intermittent fasting on this protocol, and this makes fasting a game changer. It also enhances your mood, gives you energy, puts you in ketosis, fat burning faster. And it also increases your body's own production of GLP-1. So if you notice the people that are taking the synthetic injections of GLP-1, those help shut off the food noise, right? People say they're not hungry. Your body makes GLP-1 in the stomach. But if you're insulin resistant, it inhibits the production of the hormone GLP-1. This right here has been clinically proven to increase your body's own production of GLP-1 by up to 70%. So this is not a GLP-1. Don't get me wrong, okay? This is not a GLP-1. but this helps your body, if you drink it in a fasted state, produce more GLP-1 naturally. Okay. Trisha asked, how long are we to fast before we eat a meal? So everyone is different. I tell everyone when you first start this, just try to go 12 hours. So if you go 2 to 3 hours after dinner and then you go to bed, right? And let's say you only sleep 7 hours a night. So if you went 3 hours and then 7 hours, that's 10. You only got to push that break fast back a couple more hours. Do that for, a few weeks till it becomes easy. Have 2 meals in a 12-hour window. Now, if you feel like you need a snack because you're starving, have some protein. Have something with fiber in it, like a whole apple or something like that, right? To get you through. But once that becomes easy, then bump it up to 14 hours. And then have two meals in a 10-hour window. And when that becomes easy, ideally you want to get to 16 hours of fasting and an 8-hour window of eating. Now, for women, there are different scenarios there. If you're still having your period, if you're still having your cycle regularly, or if you're dealing with PCOS, we may need to change that up. Dr. Mindy Pels wrote an amazing book called Fast Like a Girl. And that's basically teaching women how to fast with their cycle. So if you're still having your cycle, then we need to tweak that a little bit. But ideally 16 hours is where you want to get to. Okay. And then the other product is the fiber matrix that we take right before our largest or carb heaviest meal. Now, if you're someone like me who still likes to eat a lot of carbs and are worried about diabetes, have been diabetic, I take one before both of my meals. Okay. I buy extra and I take one before both of my meals. But the system is 2 Unimate. So 1 in the morning. And then when you break your fast, you have your lunch, and then you drink another one of these in the afternoon. And then you take the fiber matrix either before lunch or before dinner. Here is the study from the Cleveland Clinic that they published in the medical journal Metabolism. It says if such a product, talking about the fiber matrix, was taken regularly, it could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and reduce the need or dosage for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. I feel that's why this wasn't headline news. They don't want you to know that there's something all natural out there that could help you get off of statins. Statins are the number 1 prescribed medication in the world today, yet heart disease is still the number 1 cause of death in the world today. Make that make sense. There's the study from the Sydney Institute in Australia on the same fiber matrix, stating that if you take this before a meal, it could reduce your blood sugar spike by up to 43%. Metformin doesn't even come close to that, folks. And that's the number 1 prescribed medication for type 2 diabetes or blood sugar control. And they did that study right here. You can see it's 2 Eggo waffles, 2 teaspoons of syrup, and a 10-ounce glass of orange juice. Let me ask you a question. If someone, let's say their blood sugar drops too low, what is the first thing they typically give that person to get their blood sugar up? Does anybody know? If you know, put it in the comments. I'll wait a second. You're right, chat. Would put them out of business. Absolutely. A sweet. So typically, what I've learned over the years is if someone has a blood sugar crash and they feel faint or they pass out or they, become lightheaded or nauseous or whatever, one of the first things they give you is orange juice, right? Because orange juice will spike your blood sugar almost instantly because there's no fiber in it, right? They remove the fiber when they make orange juice. They take the pulp. They typically take the pulp and all that out of it, right? So they'll give somebody some type of juice. If not, they will give them some type of candy or whatever. You're right, some kind of sweet. But yes, Sandy's right. A glass of orange juice or any juice, because you're removing the fiber when you juice fruit. Everybody says, "Well, it's 100% fruit juice. That's healthy for you." No, it's just sugar water. It's a glucose bomb, is what that is. So here are a few people. I don't know how many pictures I have on here, but here's Luann, who's down now like 40 some pounds, no more heart palpitations. She looks 15 years younger. There's my buddy Ralph, who was definitely had the insulin resistance belly, but he had high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, horrible neuropathy pain. He had IBS really bad. This guy now walks 3 to 5 miles a day. This is someone who had neuropathy, right? His A1C went from 7.9 to now 5.4. He's no longer type 2 diabetic. The first picture is me. So I showed you that before when this started. Now I'm down 74 pounds, off all medication, and have been off all medication for 2 years now. There's Michelle, who dealt with all the menopausal symptoms, the hot flashes, the night sweats, the puffiness, she had IBS real bad. She had high blood pressure. Now no longer deals with any of that. Eli has dropped a considerable amount of weight. I can't even remember how much he's lost now. And he wasn't on medications, but this is a guy who knew he was headed down that road, and he wanted to, fix it before it became more of a problem. Jared down over 80 pounds. Chet down over 80 pounds. Neither one of these guys were on meds either, but Chet drives a semi all day long. You know how many truck drivers I have tell me, listen, I can't lose weight. I'm in a truck. I eat gas station or truck stop food. I eat IHOP and McDonald's and etc. Well, Chet's proof that you can do it as a truck driver. Down over 80 pounds now. So then there's Chrissy, had non-alcoholic fatty liver, pre-diabetic, psoriasis, neuropathy. She's down over 80 pounds and now hikes daily. JoJo lost 162 pounds in 13 months. So if you're struggling with your health and you feel like you've lost all hope, you've tried everything, nothing's ever worked for you, try this Feel Great system. If you just stumbled upon this live and you have questions, you can send me a private message. You can go to my Facebook page. The link is right there on my main page underneath my profile picture. If someone invited you to this live or shared this live with you, reach out to them. They can get you the information. When you order this protocol from any of us, you're going to get a text message welcoming you, so you have our personal phone numbers. You're going to get an email giving you all the instructions on how to get the best results with this, like all those people I just showed you have. And you can be in this community of like-minded people who are trying to get a better quality of life. And if you feel like you're sick of taking the meds because you really aren't seeing any improvements, it's just the status quo, right? Every day it's the same scenario. You get up, you pop, you pull out your rattler of pills and you pop your handful of meds. And then probably after lunch, you're probably popping some more meds, and the side effects are getting to you. The weight's still piling on. You're moody, you're low energy, all these things. And you feel like that's the way it's got to be for the rest of your life. I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way, folks. That's where I thought I was going to be for the rest of my life. And now at 54, I have more energy than I had in my early 40s. So I don't know if there's anybody in here that has the link to come into Restream. If anybody wants to come in and just kind of share their story, feel free to pop in if you're in a position to do so. Yes. So are you wanting so Trish, are you wanting to do 2 Unimate and 2 balance? Trisha, I know you've been on this before and we've actually been texting recently, but there is a way you can get the system with 1 Unimate, 2 balance, and then order an extra Unimate, or you can get 2 Unimate, 1 balance, and order an extra box of balance. It's however you want to do it. But yeah, and I can help you with that too, Trisha, if that's what you're wanting to do. If you got any more questions, put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. And Dennis Ross, pastor, praise the Lord for you, for your caring enough to help me. Absolutely, Dennis. I just share my story. In 90 days, when I went from 9.4 A1C, full blown type 2 diabetic, to pre-diabetic, I was like amazed. And in 12 more weeks, my A1C was down to 5.4. And I swore that I would tell everybody who would listen about this system because it's totally changed my life. Trish says, I stopped this all for a long time as I had my gallbladder removed and I struggled for a long time. I'm back on and sure do miss this. The struggle has been very real. Trish, I'm glad you're back on it. And I would just tell you, like, having your gallbladder removed, Michelle had her gallbladder removed years ago. And so it took a while to get her gut health right. And she had to start off slow with the fiber, half packet for a while, and then went to a full packet. But you can do this. I believe in you wholeheartedly, Tricia, that this will help you. The key to this is just like with anything, folks, whether it's an exercise program or a diet or your relationship or anything, there's got to be consistency, right? If you take this and then quit taking it every weekend because you want to have your normal lifestyle and then you start it back on Monday and it's not going to work. You have to be consistent, right? You have to follow it the way it's designed. And what I love about this is it's not some strict diet. I haven't considered this a diet at all. Okay? If I want breakfast food, I have it at lunch or dinner. It doesn't matter to me, right? I choose not to eat breakfast 95% of the time. There are times that I'll have breakfast and lunch and I'll skip dinner. I'll come home and Michelle will have made dinner and I'll say, hey, I'm not eating tonight because like I ate twice already today or something. And then I'll take whatever she made for work the next day, if I remember. I have a tendency to walk out the door at 4:45 a.m. and forget that there's food in the fridge. But I don't consider this a diet. If it was a diet and I couldn't have the food that I love, I probably would not have stuck to it as long as I have. Anna Trusley, I just hopped on, not diabetic, but brother has it bad. Any good way to lose weight? I'm listening. So, Anna, I don't know how soon you hopped in here, but I'm going to scroll through this real quick again and just let you see these before and after photos. If you want to lose weight, you first have to get your insulin levels in check, right? So I want you to look at these before and after photos. Luann, down over 40 pounds. Ralph, down over, he's probably close to 60 pounds. Myself, over 70 pounds. Michelle, over 40 pounds. Eli, over 70 pounds. Jared, over 80 pounds. Chet, over 80 pounds. Chrissy, over 80 pounds. Michael, JoJo, I call him, down over 160 pounds in 6 months. And if you want to lose weight, you have to fix your insulin resistance first. Okay. This protocol was designed to fix insulin resistance and heal your gut. This feeds the good microbes in your gut. This helps you stop eating all the time, shuts off the food noise, curbs your cravings. This system will help you lose weight, but it's not a weight loss system. This is a gut health system. So as long as you go at it with that approach, fix your insulin resistance first, and everybody's different. It could take you a month to 3 to 4 months to fix your insulin resistance. But once you do, the weight will start to come off, and it will start melting off rather quickly at that point. If your brother wants to do something natural to versus type 2 diabetes, definitely get him on this, because I took my A1C from 9.4 to 5. It's now 5.2 by following this protocol. I'm trying to bring you on, Arlie. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I brought you in and it took you out and brought you back.
I was going to say you kicked me right back out. Good. How are you?
I didn't mean to. I apologize. I was click happy. I hit it one too many times. So, Arlie, Chet's wanting to come in now too.
Yeah, I had to send him a text of how to get in because he was asking you about it.
I forgot.
Well, I put the link in our little group text, but so Arlie, how things going with you? Do you mind sharing real quick, like where you were at and where you're at now and how long you've been doing it?
Well, I started in April of this year. After watching Dad for a little bit, and it's been a year now that he come out and told us, me and the boys about it, me and Caleb and Jared, about what was going on, and did all that. And of course, being like Jared says, like dads do, hounding you, hey, this will help, hey, this will help, hey, this will help. So Jared started, Dad was on it. Then Jared started in like February, watched him for a little bit. Then I started in April. And so after 9 months, I'm down 35 plus pounds. I've lost all the inflammation in pretty much in my hips, my knees, my ankles. I'm moving so much better. Actually went and me and Avery and Josh, we walked around a couple of different cemeteries, just reading dates, looking at history, doing that. We did that for about 4 hours today. Went to 2 different cemeteries and hiked through some of the metro parks today since it was nice here. But yeah, I out hustled them today, pretty much outwalked them today.
Good for you.
Up and down the hills, this, that, and the other. Was jumping out of the car, running up and looking at different monuments and different things, and I had a ball doing it today.
Awesome. So happy to hear that. So you've been on this 9 months, 35
9 months.
Now, you were talking about the hips and knees and joints and all that because you're a former athlete, right?
Yep, did 3 sports.
You still coach, correct?
Still coaching
I feel bad for those girls' softball season.
These next 2 years are going to be interesting. When I started this year, I went on vacation and came back in June. Literally got back home at 2:00 in the morning. I had to be at the park by 8 a.m. So I got less than 5 hours of sleep, and it was hot that weekend. It was awful. I was chasing them up and down third baseline, being me. Dad laughs at me a lot and tends to whistle at me if I get too crazy at it, or he'll text me and be like, calm down, slow down. But the girls are like, Coach Arlie, you have more energy than we do. Coach Arlie, you need to slow down.
That's great. And this all started because your dad, this guy right here, found me a couple years ago on social media and thought I was full of BS, blowing smoke up his rear end. He was real stubborn, right?
16 months ago.
He's like, this ain't going to work for me because I sit in a truck for 14, 16 hours a day. There's no way. And then he called me and we actually talked several times before he finally decided to get on board. And then now he's got his whole family using it and so many other people using this protocol. And that's why I was sharing his story. If there's truck drivers out there watching this that say, it's not going to work for me. I can't choose where I eat all the time. There's only certain places on my route or whatever. And it's typically gas station. I know because my dad was a truck driver his whole life. Okay. I know how it is. This guy is proof that it does work if you just follow it the way it's designed. Chet, how you doing? Did you have a big family Christmas?
Yep. Everybody was here. Like normal. Had breakfast ready for them when they got here late morning, and it got all ate. But before we did, the balances was opened, and everybody took balances and made sure that we didn't get hurt by all the good food that I cooked.
Absolutely. So one thing I love about your story, Chet, not only that you're a truck driver, but that you weren't on all the medication yet, but you knew as you were 85 pounds heavier than you are now, you knew you were headed that way, right? What was your highest weight, Chet?
Highest weight was 335. And
wow.
it was absolutely, it was like looking at a mountain every time I got in the truck, in and out of the truck, because it was just getting to the point that I was having to talk to myself to be able to do it.
Right. And I know you were having circulation and leg issues as well before you started this. So how's all that stuff now? I mean, how does it feel like it's a mountain every time? Because I know you've ran through airports this last year plenty of times.
It's absolutely it's been the most amazing summer. And I was thinking about that, Jeff, yesterday morning. It was literally a year ago yesterday when we had an even more serious talk. After I'd been using the products for a year, but then I made another change, and you know what I'm talking about, last year.
Mm-hmm.
And what allowed me the privilege to be able to run through airports and to be able to get to do everything that I've done this summer. But that's another story. But anyways, I absolutely was getting to the point that I was just about to have some major problems. And I'm fixing to tell that story a whole lot more with my right leg, and didn't have to. It's weird because I was not on pills, but I was definitely having circulation problems, and that's all just about 90% healed up and fixed. And this morning I went from starting out at 335 and 46 pants, and I've actually gotten 38s this morning and was comfortable. That makes a big difference to me. I was in 36s when I got married 45 years ago, and I'm just that close to being in when I got married 45 years ago in 36s, and I'll be there before we get to summer.
That's so awesome, man. I feel that all the time because I was in 42-inch waist jeans, right? And I was dreading that I was going to be going up to 44s. And within a few months, like I think 3 months, I had to go buy new clothes. I was taking my first trip to Vegas to learn more about this stuff. And I was like, I can't go out there with these clothes on. They're going to be falling off of me. So I went and bought new clothes, and I think a couple months later I had to go buy new clothes again. And before I realized it, I was in 36s. Folks, if you are worried about this is all you do. Take about 8 ounces of water, take this little packet, dump it in there. You shake it like 4 or 5 times, and you chug it down right before your meal. Michelle is getting ready to take this, and she just said, "Hey, mix it up on camera." So
there you go. There you go.
You'd be surprised how many people stare at me when I either do that or my teeth.
Yep.
Especially sitting at a wrestling tournament, how many people start turning around and watching, whether what I'm doing, what Dad's doing, it don't matter.
Yep.
And I don't think twice about it. And it's just all of a sudden I'm like, why is everybody staring at me?
Eventually those people are going to ask, what are you drinking?
Hmm?
What are you doing? What? Every time I see you before you eat something, you're drinking that stuff. What is it? I mean, and that's how this spreads. Miguel asked, and I know Miguel and I's had a conversation before, but I put it in the comments, and that's another reason Michelle, I think, wanted me to mix that up. So that balance, it comes in orange or mixed berry flavor. I love them both. So I buy one of each just to kind of mix it up all the time, but you just mix that up right before your meal. Now, if you forget and you notice, oh crap, I didn't take my balance, take it during your meal. If you remember afterwards, because until you build the habit, a lot of times people forget, right? So when you remember, take it. It's better to get that fiber in your gut to heal the bacteria in your gut and help the good bacteria thrive than just say, oh, I forgot, so I'm not going to take it today. Like, you got to get that fiber in your gut. That's what's going to heal those junctions in your gut lining. If you're dealing with GERD, acid reflux, leaky gut, all those problems, you got to get that good bacteria, the food it needs to thrive and heal those junctions in your gut lining, and you can reverse your insulin resistance. If you just skip it, that's what I'm saying. Consistency is the key. And if you just do this day after day, month after month, it just becomes like your life. That's just, and so many of us build all these lifestyle habits that are damaging our health. Why not start to build new ones that are going to give you a better quality of life, help you lose that extra weight, keep your blood sugar under control, prevent heart disease and all these problems. Chet, I seen you go like this. Do you have something you want to say?
I'll even I'll drink it as a meal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If
I've done
I'm
the same thing.
in a hurry and don't want to be hungry and I know it's good for my stomach anyways, I'll just drink one and I have no trouble with skipping a meal. And I know it's
Yeah.
doing me good too.
I've done that a lot when I've done longer fasts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If I start to get them hunger pangs, I'll just have a balance, and it's not going to break my fast.
Nope.
It's feeding the microbes in my gut, and the hunger goes away almost instantly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
So,
still
yeah.
cheaper than food.
Yeah, way cheaper than food. Like, one of those packs is like $1.67 or something like that. And if that's another thing, so many people, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this before we end. So many people always say, man, that's expensive. And I always say, compared to what?
Exactly.
Compared to what? Compared to doctor's visits every month or every other month? Compared to those 6 to 10 medications you were taking every day? Compared to a fast food meal or a Starbucks? Like, what are you comparing the cost to? Because for me now, I mean, like, I see the savings that I have from using this. I used to spend $10 to $15 every morning on my way to work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't spend that anymore. I just make a Unimate before I leave the house, and like, that's what I'm drinking until lunchtime. I'm not getting a Pepsi or a coffee with cream and sugar or a breakfast pizza or McDonald's. It's putting money in my pocket. I'm cash positive at the end of the month because I use this instead of the contrary. Oh man, I got to come up with another $159 every month to buy this. That's not how it is. And I know people can't wrap their head around that. They're like, but I have to pay $159 for it. Yes, but it's going to save you way more than that if you just follow it the way we tell you to. I mean, I was drinking 4 Pepsis a day is like $10, right? Or more.
I was doing 6 to 10 a day.
I mean, how do you guys, like, is it saving you money? Is it costing you money? Do you feel it's worth the
It's
$5?
worth it
a day?
It's worth every
I was-
penny of it.
I was scared to death. I've always been scared to drink energy drinks because I'd seen some people firsthand have some bad adverse effects from them. And this is the best energy drink you can drink, the teas, and you can't, it won't hurt you. They're by far better than any energy drink you could ever drink, and they're cheaper. It's cheaper all the way around, between your coffees, between, well, liquid cupcakes. They're not even coffees anymore.
It's like a milkshake, right?
Yeah, it's a liquid cupcake
With a couple ice cubes.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, and that stuff everything is $6 to $8, and just a coffee in just the gas station is $2 to $3.
Yeah.
And then your Twinkies and your bag of Doritos and a hot dog and everything. If you don't spend $8 to $12 a
Chet,
day just on
I gotta ask you this because you're the truck driver, so you've been in all the truck stops. You know the roller things that
The
have
hot dog rollers?
roller dog.
tornadoes and the hot
Yep.
dogs and
Yep.
the taquitos and all them. Like just one of them, like tornadoes, is like $3, and it's
Yeah,
garbage.
you can get two for $6.50 or two for $7.
Yeah. I used to eat those the breakfast ones all the time when I'd
Yep.
stop in the morning.
Yep.
They would have them on the hot roller, and I'd get me a French toast one and a scrambled egg one every morning. It was like $6.
Breakfast pizza, I mean, would be $3 to $4 a slice, and there's days you was hungry, you might get two of them, and I had them before 8 o'clock, and then I'd eat another snack before dinner time. It's
Same,
horrible.
brother.
It's horrible.
It's here's the thing I always tell people: if you want to fix your health, first you got to be honest with yourself.
Yep.
Sit down and look and be honest. What are you drinking and eating every day?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
how many milkshake coffees are you drinking? How many energy drinks? How many sodas? And people say, well, I don't drink any of that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well,
I always hear that.
yeah. I have a tendency to not believe that when you look at some of the people, right? But let's say they don't. Okay, well, how many packs of M&Ms or Snickers bars or Doritos or those types of things are you eating? You got to be honest with yourself. Are you someone who just pieces on something and snacks all day long? You don't really feel like you're eating, so you're not counting that? Because I'm telling you, every time you put something in here, your blood sugar's going up. Okay? And if it's something like M&Ms or a Ho-Ho or Doritos, I'm naming things that I used to eat all the time, by the way.
And grandma.
But when you do
You don't
that,
have enough paper.
yeah, when you do that, your blood sugar goes through the roof. And when that blood sugar crash happens, you're reaching for something else, right? You can't not, because you're hangry and you're like, I've got to have some energy. So you're getting something else, and you never let your insulin come down. Go ahead, Chet.
I know it's a terrible thing, and I think it would probably in the end result work. But I have thought so many times about people that say that. Just literally tell them, I'll give you a piece of paper, and you just write down for me what you get every day and what you spend. And if you truly are honest and write down and show me everything you spend, and if it's less than 100 and, well, what it cost us for this,
Yeah, 159.
I will buy you a month's worth free, but you've got to be honest with me. And I can tell you straight up, that's terrible, but by looking at you, knowing how I was and how I looked and how 95% of the world looks right now, you're not being honest with me. If you don't write it down and be truthful with me, you're not being honest with me or yourself, because the proof is in the pudding, and I can see you. I'm looking at me. I'm literally looking at me 2 years ago. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
And I know that's
Absolutely.
just being way too
That's-
brutally honest most of the time.
That's what I did when I started this. I told you guys I was spending $10 to $12 every morning, right?
Yeah.
So I work 10-day swings. So I work 10 days straight, get 4 days off. So basically 2 hitches a month is 20 days, let's say. I was spending that for breakfast and lunch
You're
every
snack-
day.
Yeah.
That's over $400, close to $500 a month.
Yep.
I was spending between breakfast and lunch. It's putting money in my pocket, folks. That's
Yeah.
all I can tell you. It's putting
Yeah.
money in my pocket. So if you want to try this, Anna, I said in the comments I would send you a message since you said you just stumbled across this. But
Yeah.
if you want to try this system, I think it's the simplest thing I've ever done for my health. I'm not on a diet. I make better food choices 95% of the time. I don't overeat now. It's saving me money. I'm off of 8 different medications and have more energy at 54 than I did at 44. If you want to try this, get with the person who invited you, or go to my Facebook page, or send somebody a message and get the link. You want to get somebody's referral link because you're going to save like $75 if you get somebody's referral link, right? Plus, you get the coaching and the mentoring. If you do subscription, you get free shipping for life. You get a 90-day money-back guarantee. To me, it's a no-brainer. Anything you want to add, Arlie, before we hop off here?
Jeff, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to thank you for getting Dad to start, because if you didn't get Dad started, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. So thank you.
Absolutely. That's why we
Yeah.
do this. Chet, anything you want to add?
I've got to share Arlie's sentiments. Yeah, if it wouldn't have been for stumbling onto you, and I didn't know or see anybody else, but if it
Mhm.
wouldn't have been for stumbling on you like I did, it about makes me tear up to think where I'd be today. I'm serious.
Yeah. So, folks, if you're watching this, what if this could do for you what it's done for me, what it's done for Chet, what it's done for Arlie? I always point the wrong way.
No,
What it's done for Arlie, and so many others. This could be exactly what you've been looking for. You're scared to take that leap, but it could totally change your life
it
if
will.
you just follow it the way it's designed.
It will.
Have a good night, everyone. If I don't talk to you before, Happy New Year. I can't wait to see what 2026 has in store for all of us.
I can't.
Love y'all. Love y'all.
See ya.
Love
Aaron.
y'all. Have a good New Year.